Welcome to my WOW Chats, words of wisdom with people that I love and admire and respect. And I have Helene Couvrette with me today. First and foremost, one of my most dear friends. We've only really known each other, I think, for 4 years. Helene is the founder, co-founder, and now director and creator of Misty Montreal International Symposium on Therapeutic Yoga. And Helene, I want to talk about today something we talked about yesterday. Being or owning and admitting that you're lovable.
Oh, yes.
And just what I want you to comment on and elaborate on and share with everybody is, how do you yourself, or it could be even just tips or advice that you have for people listening, how do you balance that, owning that you want to shine and you want to be brilliant and you're lovable, and at the same time stay humble and have that humility? And especially if, we talked about this yesterday too, especially if other people in your life that you love, see you shining and then maybe you feel guilty because you're doing so well or shining, and then you kind of dim the other person's light beside you, so then you want to dim yours a little bit. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we did have a few great conversations about it. As I told you, I have 4 kids, and I really don't believe in over complimenting. It also doesn't mean that I don't let them know when something they do needs improvement. But I do think we are sort of almost in a place where we have this balance, that every human being should shine. You should shine your brightest light, because you got this one lifetime, and if you have others, this is the one you know now and you're living now. And nobody should be dimming because it might be harder for others around you to see you shine. That would sort of not be living your true potential. And so I really try to, I keep using my kids as an example, but there's also myself in there. Just I see through how I raised them, how I was raised to shine. But I also see how it can affect people around you who would like to shine and are struggling with shining. And so then is the example that you don't, because how are you really going to inspire others? And I think part of the conversation was being able to be humble and yet owning your own lovableness, because it came up as a question in a dinner restaurant over this conference last week. The waitress said, we have a question of the day, what makes you lovable? And everybody kind of shut down, almost like we all probably know, but we're all almost ashamed to say, I know this makes me lovable. And there's actually a great video my kids love of this little girl on top of her bathroom sink. Her parents videotape her, big head of hair like me, and little body and big this hair. And she just says, I love my house, I love my hair, I love my mom, And so, we should be able to say, I love myself, and that was one of the things she said. And not to see that as a bad thing, that there's so much anxiety, depression, and so much insecurity and fear, and maybe we're almost taught to be to humble to a fault, if it is, as opposed to you can shine and be confident and be authentically living your potential, and you still can't be humble. And we met a few people at the conference who are, really shiny people out there, and yet when we spoke to them, we're really humble. So I would say with you, let's ask everybody else to take a look in the mirror today and say to yourself first, alone, so you don't have to worry about anybody else's thought, what makes me lovable? And own it. And so I think it came up with, owning, I can't remember how I said it, but, owning what makes you shine doesn't mean you're not humble. It just, I think we need to own it and live up to our potential. Yeah.
So, okay, what makes you lovable?
Right. So now I got to say this in front of everybody and still look humble, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is all good. You can say that. but now let's practice it. So
yeah, and I think so. Here's a balance, right? I know my faults, and I'm ready to shine those faults too. I know that I forget specific.
what makes you lovable?
Right, well, I'll get back.
You're starting.
But yeah, you're right. So my own medicine. So what makes me lovable, I think, is that I think I can really connect personally with people. That when I'm in, and it really does come from the heart. When I see people that I love and admire, like you, I have no problem letting them know. And finding that personal connection, not wearing any robes of trying to be a certain way. I kind of let go of all that. I think that's something that really is. I believe what makes me lovable is that I let go all the pretense of how we should behave and how we're supposed to behave, and I'm just trying to be me. And that me is really just trying to connect to another person and their meanness. And I think that's my best lovable quality that I can. Yeah, would you agree?
I was just going to say it because I was thinking, okay, what makes me love you, or what are some aspects of you that makes me love you? And that is one, is that you're so real, and just real. You're one of the most real, raw, and I mean that in a really good way, real, raw people that I've met, that I know.
Yeah.
And that makes you lovable, and you show your vulnerability.
Right. I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
I think I'm not afraid of showing my vulnerability and my weak spots, and and so that I think that's it. And everything else I've done in my profession doesn't. I think that's great, but I think that in the end, as we said over the conference, that ability for people to connect that makes us have fun. So I think that Yeah, and I love you too.
Words of wisdom from Helene. I love you. Thank you.
It was great to spend the week with you.
Yeah,
and thank you, everybody. So don't forget, look in the mirror and say, what makes me lovable? Own it. Own it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Check out some of my other WOW chats on my YouTube channel. Words of wisdom from people that I admire and respect.